Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your October 2022 tarot card and astrology reading. Alrighty, Virgo, before we get into the actual reading itself, I am making a few little changes. I pre-recorded a short little video to kind of introduce everything, so let's get into that first. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jane. I am so thrilled to have you here. For the October readings this month, I've done something just a little bit different. So I'm starting to include a new astrology portion to this reading. I feel like that could add so much more value to each and every one of you as you navigate and try to understand how all of this is going down. October is a huge month astrologically. We have a lot of the outer planets starting to move, and we are building up to an eclipse on the 25th. So there's just a lot to really think about and consider. So the timestamp for both the tarot portion and the astrology portion will be found in the description box down below. And this is one of the reasons why I've separated the big monthly video into 12 separate videos instead of just one big long video. And as always, if you are a subscriber, please be sure to log into your account at janeinternational.com, navigate to the blog page, and you'll see all the comprehensives that you've signed up for available there. All right, now with all that being said, let's get into it. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your October 2022 tarot card reading. So let's go ahead and get started with the King of Cups, which is the card that signifies what the universe needs from you. So a King of Cups is highly emotionally intelligent. All right. This is someone who feels a lot of feelings, but also interprets them properly. All right. And says, okay, I'm feeling a feeling, but what does this mean, and how should I react or respond to this in the best possible way? He understands how emotions are fleeting and how they come and go, and he doesn't necessarily succumb to their whims. Okay, he has control over the emotions. Now, it doesn't have control over them surfacing or feeling, but he doesn't always create a mess of his life just because he had a feeling, right? King of Cups is powerful. Now, this is a Scorpio card, all right? Scorpio is ruled by both Mars and Pluto. So there's this conquering energy, okay? Conquering, becoming a victor, winning. First of all, that has a lot to do with being a victor over yourself, and doesn't mean condemn any aspect of yourself. In fact, it means to wholly accept and include every aspect of yourself, including the bad stuff, quote unquote bad stuff. But he also has external ambitions as well. So while there is a self component, I don't really know that this month is about you personally. I think this is about like your jobs and your careers and your financial situations and your home environment and your partnerships and all of that. It's way more about that stuff. And the King of Cups is really ready to put himself in a better situation. Okay, he has ambitions, he has desires, and he has convictions, and he's aligned. And being aligned right now is very important, because over here we have the Strength card. And the Strength card is, right, it's the environment, it's in the environmental position. And it says that you're going to need to exhibit strength. And usually when we have to exhibit strength, it's because things are not always going according to plan. And there are things beyond our control that occur. And we have to remain connected to our higher intelligence. We have to remain connected to our vision and our goals and our passions in spite of things maybe not necessarily being advantageous for us to do that. I'm looking at the 10 card block. If you haven't noticed already, we have a lot of major arcana, right? We've got 7 out of 10 cards. Almost all of them are reversed except for Judgment. Now, don't freak out about the reversals. Reversals just offer a different essence to the card. But I do think things are slowing down for Virgo. I feel that they've been going very fast since June. And I think a lot has happened since June. And now, June obviously being Gemini season, and with Mars retrograde happening in Gemini, which is your 10th house rulership, I think that a lot of the things that got started back in June are starting to slow down. They're starting to come into an equilibrium, which is good, but there may not be as much momentum with things. We like the way Libra brings order to things, but it can be a little bumpy, can be a little rough, all right? But it does ultimately bring order. It brings simplicity. It brings streamlined ideas and processes into things. So this is good that things are sort of starting to pace themselves. The Wheel of Fortune in the reverse just suggests that maybe you're not seeing the effects of your manifestations right away, but they are in the works. And I don't always like to be that tarot reader that's like, oh, it's coming. And every month, oh, it's coming. But when a Wheel of Fortune is reversed, it's really hard for me to say, it's here. Okay, it's not quite here yet, I don't think, for Virgo. And that's why perseverance and strength and remaining true to what you say you believe, remaining true and committed to what you say you want, this is the time. Like, this is the time when people get tested. It's kind of, I don't necessarily believe the universe tests us, but I do believe it gives us the option to keep choosing day after day after day. Right? When you wake up, do you keep choosing this dream or not? Do you keep choosing this passion? Do you continue to choose this person? And it's like, you're going to have to do that every single day. All day, every day. Yes, I choose this. Yes, I choose this. And there will be many opportunities for you to keep choosing it. But the reason why that's good is because the more and more you choose the dream or the goal, the more you vibrationally align with it. Okay? If you are making decisions right now rooted in the Seven of Cups, meaning confusion and any level of desperation, it is likely to prove it will likely prove problematic, if I could talk, later on. It will be problematic. There will be issues with it. See, the thing with getting into commitments with an astrological environment like this, especially with a new moon eclipse in Scorpio, Libra and Scorpio are very much about one-on-one bonds, okay, and how we connect and energetically exchange with other people. And if we get into any kind of commitment, romantic or financial or anything else with somebody, if we get into a commitment that we are not entirely on board with, or if it's rooted in the fear of missing out, or a fear of, well, if I don't do this, then this other thing is going to happen, so I guess I should. If it's rooted in fear and confusion and desperation and false hope and whatever, in any way, shape, or form, it will be very challenging to detach from it later on, because the bonds that are made through Libra and Scorpio seasons are likely somehow legally or karmically bonded. Okay? And we may not necessarily pay the price in this life, but we may pay the price later on. Now, I'm not saying, like, if you meet the love of your life, to not go for it. I mean, please, if it feels good and makes you feel happy and it brings a lot of joy into your life, by all means indulge and chase the happiness if you need to. But I would recommend taking time before you, like, officially do anything legal or anything like that. Okay? Now, obviously, if you've been dating someone for multiple years and you're about to get married, then, like, by all means, go get married, right? Because the intention is for longevity anyway. But if you need your freedom, or you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you're going to feel locked in, it's best to remain a little bit detached right now and allow your own life to reach an equilibrium point. Okay. Now with the star and the reversal, actually both of these together, I feel like there's like, the word that's coming to my mind is that the universe is hoarding stuff. It's like hoarding all of your blessings or hoarding all of your opportunities right now. It's almost as though it's going to give you everything in like a deluge later on. It's just all going to pile onto you all at once later on. But right now, I feel that there's a holding back with some things. The universe is holding back with certain opportunities, job offers, lovers, whatever the case may be. And it's giving you a chance, again, to continue to commit. And it's giving you a chance to stay happy in spite of those things, or in spite of not having those things, rather. It's giving you a chance to just enjoy the process and enjoy life. Whenever the Knight of Cups comes out, I always just see someone who, they may not have a lot, but they love life so much. It's like some sweet soul just sort of sauntering with his beautiful horse down the side of a river, enjoying the beautiful weather, enjoying the crystal clear water, enjoying the rain on his face. It's all just very romantic, you know? And the Knight of Cups finds romance in a lot of everyday, mundane, normal things. The romance of life itself, the romance of beauty, especially with Libra season underway, the romance of just being himself, of his purity and his authentic soul. And maybe one of the reasons why the universe needs to hold this kind of stuff back is because maybe those things were filler to fill in places where you were feeling inadequate because of some stuff that was still going on in your subconscious mind. Some pain and trauma that had been incurred through a past relationship, through past traumas with your family, through past losses and failures. You know, every time we go through something, it sort of hammers into our brain, you know, that we need something in order to prove that we are worthy, or we need that money, we need that person, we need that house, or we need that job, or we need to have that thing that aligns us with our purpose. Like we have to go get stuff. But the universe doesn't want you to go get stuff. It wants you to be stuff. And so this moon, again, it's giving you a chance to like really discover or uncover any remnants of like things that are still, that you still perceive are missing. And as the sun comes into an opposition with Chiron, it's actually the first week of October is going to be making that opposition with Chiron. And that may be like the initial feelings that we feel as October begins. We feel that illumination on the part of us that still is hurt. And we feel like we are staring into some kind of a void. Now, I don't mean that this is going to be this existential crisis. You know, it doesn't have to be that way. It's just, oh, okay, well, that's still there. All right, well, I'm still harboring resentment and sadness toward this. I still feel insecure because of that. I still feel unworthy because this happened 20 years ago. Okay, well, that's still there. All right, okay, I get it. You know, and the more and more you just accept it and say, all right, well, I still have these feelings of inadequacy. Like as much work as I've done, it's still there. And as long as you acknowledge it and you honor it the way a King of Cups would honor it and acknowledge it, it doesn't control you. It doesn't mean you have to make decisions based in that stuff. Again, that would be not super smart right now. In fact, again, I look at the Lovers and I look at the Hierophant. I struggle with like commitment of any kind. I'm struggling with joining or becoming a part of any kind of an institution. I don't want to see you getting raveled or tethered into something. I would rather see you exhibiting or exerting more efforts toward freedom in your life. Right? That would be the goal. The more freedom, the better. I'm just thinking, I keep coming back to this moon. Virgo, there has been so much progress for you this year. I know, like, started off really weird with all that heavy Pisces stuff, and I know that was really uncomfortable for a lot of Virgos, especially if you have multiple planets in Virgo, or planets or placements in Virgo. And so the year started off really weird, and I feel like as summer sort of approached, or spring, late spring, early summer started to come online, Virgo was like, all right, we got to kind of catch up. We got to go do more. We got to, we have to compensate for the wasted time or the lack of progress from the beginning of the year. And so you have been in work mode. Gemini season, Cancer season, Leo season, and even on in through Virgo season, probably will continue through Libra and Scorpio seasons. But it's like, okay, I've been working, but that chariot still doesn't feel like it's moving, still doesn't feel like it's officially grabbing and getting a grip on anything and actually moving quickly. That's because this is still here. Healing is such a complicated process sometimes because it's like, it's so cyclical, and we can have something surface and we can deal with it and we can do the shadow work, and then we can even overcome a lot of those feelings, and then we can move on for years. And then all of a sudden, boop, there it goes, back up. Here it is. Here it is again. Something you haven't thought about, something you haven't had to deal with. Now all of a sudden it's creeping back in. But if you have struggled over the years to really get something going, to really get something moving, I think that feeling is gonna really start to turn over, especially as Pluto enters into Aquarius next year. I do think this is a Plutonic thing, Pluto in Capricorn. And with the Judgment card, it tells me that you're going to have like an opportunity to really come up out of the dark, especially because I think that dark place has been a real challenge, right? This has been you and any problems with money or any problems with family members, any problems with dating and romantic relationships. It's just you felt debilitated and pinned down, and almost as though maybe that you even came to a point that you wanted to stop having hope. Maybe not recently, but I think maybe something in life did push you to the edge where you say, I don't even want to have hope anymore. And maybe you went through a little bit of a nihilistic period. Nothing means anything. Everything is meaningless. What's the point? I don't like this. It's, a little bit more pessimistic. That's certainly turning around if that was the case. If that has been the case, it seems to be turning around. I think this is intrinsically linked with the moon reversed. I think there was fear to really open yourself up to hope, because maybe in the past you had hope, you had optimism, you had joy, and maybe someone else smacked you down. That's what happens. That's what causes a trauma. It's like, you're not allowed to be yourself. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to think that way. You're not allowed to create this. This is ugly. This is bad. This is, all these things. And it's like those sink in after a certain period of time. It doesn't even have to be your family members. It could be your culture and your society, in your religious institutions. There's something about institutions coming out real strong with that Hierophant card. So any kind of institution that had a negative impact to you, government, culture, education, religion, family, all that kind of stuff could be included in this. But it's really time, Virgo, to set yourself free from that. Really, and I think you can feel it in your heart. You can feel this weighing on you, and that's why there we go. Strength makes sense in the environment. It's likely that something in the environment will trigger this. It may not happen in the beginning of October, so don't hate me if it doesn't resonate right away. I bet if you come back at the beginning of November, the beginning of Scorpio season, and you watch this again, it's likely that this will resonate heavily, in terms of what actually surfaced for you. It's an intense time, you know, building up to eclipses. It is an intense time, no doubt. Okay. We're going to pull out some, oops, hold on. Where did my deck go? Okay, I found them. Apparently, I was walking around with the deck. I honestly don't even remember that. I was clearly in outer space. Okay, so before we pull out the clarifiers, for those of you who are new, the cards I'm about to pull out are the cards we'll cover in the comprehensive reading. Okay, the link for that will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. And we usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards. So there are multiple ways to purchase, and I'll outline everything in the information down below, so feel free to browse through that to see which option makes the most sense for you. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here with the King of Cups, what comes through. Beautiful King of Swords, I love that. Hanged Man. Hanged Man reversed and Queen of Coins reversed. I do see you taking on a much more masculine approach to things right now, being more problem-solving oriented. Strength, the Seven of Swords. Ten of Wands. Nine of Coins, beautiful. We like to see a positive energy like the Nine of Coins in the environment, because it does tell me that incredible opportunities of prosperity and abundance are made available to you. So let's see, Wheel of Fortune reversed. What else does Virgo need to know about the Wheel of Fortune reversed? Ten of Wands. Ooh, another Wheel of Fortune. We like that. Very temporary situation you're in right now. Really, really temporary. Okay. Justice. Two of Wands reversed. Another Strength card. Eight of Wands. The Empress, Temperance, beautiful. I'm really liking that Knight of Cups energy. Oh, another King of Swords. This is certainly like a don't mess with the Virgo type of reading. Virgo taking on a lot of strength, a lot of power, but also still feeling a little bit in the wind with stuff too. You're like in control of yourself, but very out of control of external circumstances. And sometimes that can be frustrating. Page of Wands. Another Hanged Man. An Emperor. I feel like that Emperor is someone else. Someone that represents some level of authority in your life. So it could be a father or a spouse to a degree, probably more leaning toward the more divine masculine with that card. Ace of Wands. Ooh, a good star, we like that. Now for this reversed moon, Hermit, which is of course the Virgo card. Two of Swords. Page of Cups. You may have some really unexpected offers this month. Three of Coins reversed. Queen of Wands. Last but not least, the Ten of Swords. Oh, beautiful. And a 9 of Cups. Excellent, excellent. Okay, Virgo, this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So again, all the info in the description box and the comment thread down below. Thank you all so much. You know I love and adore you. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to the astrology portion of this reading. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I know I reference the stars a lot in the tarot card portion of the reading. But some people I think are a lot more visual, and I know a lot of people are wanting to learn more about astrology. So I figured that this may be helpful and beneficial for some. Let me know in the comments below. Like if people don't like it, then fine, I won't keep doing it. But if you do like it, then I will keep doing it. Just to kind of get you guys aware of exactly which houses and how everything is relating to each other so that you can be more prepared. Now, October is a very big month, as I'm saying, for everybody. There's just a lot happening in the sky. And let's start with the fact that this is Libra season, okay? Sorry, it's not Virgo season anymore. Happy birthday, belated birthday to all of you. Hope you guys did something awesome. But here we have the Sun and Venus as of October 1st, both making their way in through Libra. We will have just had, on September 25th, the new moon in Libra. So I think we're kind of feeling things starting to sort themselves out. Libra is very much about bringing things that were in chaos into order, right? That's why things like mediation is all thrown under the Libran umbrella, because it's like here you have two fighting parties, and Libra is like that middle point, trying to find a way to get both sides to come into agreement or come into settlement or into balance to some degree. And so for you, this is the second house, which has a lot to do with like our financials, our money, and also our sense of self-worth. And in today's day and age, those are intrinsically connected. Usually people, and this is not a blanket statement by any stretch of the imagination, but it is more common for people who have greater self-esteem and greater sense of self-worth to perform better in their work and therefore earn more money. So that's why they are intrinsically connected. And I think this is a time where you can get a little bit more logical with yourself, because Mercury is going to start going direct on the 2nd. He's going to enter Libra on the 10th, and he's going to offer a more stoic perspective of yourself. It's not like rooted in a feeling, it's more rooted in information. We have to remember that Libra is an air sign. It likes information, it likes intellect, it likes hard and fast evidence. It doesn't like to do things necessarily rooted in emotion. It likes to take a look at both sides or all sides. Actually, I just described it this way for Leo. Let me backtrack just a little bit. I kind of like this analogy. It's like if we have a CEO of a company or a main leader of like a group of people, and they're all sitting around in this boardroom or something, and you have everyone else in the room say what they need to say and say what they think and give your ideas. And then the leader will take all of that information and make the best possible decision rooted in that. They're not so arrogant as to think that they know best, right? They're not so arrogant as to think that they have that they truly have explored all the other perspectives. Libra is about hearing everything out first before making a decision, and because you want to make the most informed decisions possible. And I think that's a good thing right now, because yes, the stars in a way they are pacing us, which has become a theme this month. I've been saying it for everybody. The stars are pacing us. Mars is moving super slow, right? He's going retrograde on the 30th in your 10th house, which means, right, because I've got this set for October 1st. So between October 1st and October 30th, Mars is only moving 5 degrees. So he's just going to get slower and slower and slower and slower. Not to mention that Saturn is going to be moving direct, which means between the October 1st and October 23rd, which is when he stations direct, he too is moving really, really slow. Now, both Mars and Saturn are really work-oriented, right? Mars is about going off and conquering things and getting things done. And Saturn is about, establishing and attaining and achieving things. So those go hand in hand to a degree. And when both of those are really slow and Libra season is involved, it's like, okay, we need to come back. We need to gain a more clear, more objective perspective. We need to get out of our own way, out of our own heads, and we need to be able to look at things from a very high level perspective if we can, and move forward more purposefully with greater levels of intention. Because yes, we also know that they always call this time of year the cuffing season. I have to kind of laugh whenever I hear that, because it's like, okay, I mean, could it be any more on the nose? Libra season and Scorpio season, both of these signs about commitment and obligation and exchanging of energy and working together with people. And we don't want to get ourselves in situations with people we don't fully trust, or that we don't fully trust will carry through their end of the bargain. Now, you're a little independent right now with this Mars in the 10th. I kind of think Virgo is really doing a lot for themselves. The second house does require a great deal of self-reliance as well. So it's not that you're going to be reliant too much on other people, although they will likely be involved in your life to some degree. But really, at the end of the day, you have to make the best decisions for yourself. But please do not discount the ideas and the opinions for others. And please be really cautious when it comes to bonding with another person right now. It's not to say that it can't work out. It's just that if you're unsure, or if you have any layer of doubt whatsoever, then it's likely to become a problem later on. And getting out of that may be a real challenge. It's like if you start dating someone that you're kind of on the fence about, and you're not really into it, but kind of they're a good enough person and it's okay, whatever. But then maybe you get pregnant, right? And then it becomes this whole added layer of something that you just don't even want to deal with. So if that's the case, just make sure you take precautions to keep yourself out of greater obligations that you don't know that you're ready for. All right. That's going to be the essence of Libra through Scorpio season. It's just that when Mars goes retrograde, things do tend to fizzle out. Things do tend to lose their speed. And in your 10th house, it does mean that you may experience a change in direction in your life's ambitions. You may change direction over the course of the next 6 months. Guaranteed, you're not going to be the same person in March when Mars moves into Cancer. You're not going to be the same person. Whenever we have 10th house, 11th house, and 12th house transits, we really do go through a process of detaching, and it's kind of like letting go of a balloon, and that balloon just continues to float up and up and up and up. It's like 10th house, and then 11th house, and then 12th house is just so far high up there that you can't even see it anymore. These two houses especially are about detachment, whereas houses 1 through 10, it really is about building up a very real identity and a very real sense of self, only for that to become under revision, and potentially to a degree a layer of that is lost through 12th house and 11th house transits. So that's what I'm saying, is that the person you are today is not who you're going to be 6 months from now, because Mars moving into Cancer in March is going to also be coupled with the fact that Saturn moves into Pisces and Pluto moves into Aquarius also in March. Now, Saturn moves direct on the 23rd of October, the same day that the Sun conjunct Venus, both conjunct means they're together. They both move into Scorpio, and we have a new moon eclipse 2 days later in Scorpio. All right. So this new moon eclipse in your third house does have a lot to do with changing the way you think about something. Now, it doesn't mean that on that day you're going to change the way you think. In fact, I actually don't know that that's really going to happen until after the full moon eclipse, which is on November 8th, and then that starts to wane, and then we make our way into the new moon in Sagittarius in, I don't know if it's late November or early December. I don't know exactly the date on that, but that's probably when you're going to start to see the effects of how you have changed the way you think about something. And the way you think about something is highly likely to be impacted by other people's ideas and opinions, not in a bad way. I'm not saying that you are not listening to yourself. In fact, I think you are listening to yourself so much that you honor yourself enough to listen to what other people have to say. Because maybe they're more right than you are. Maybe they're more experienced. Maybe they are more, I don't know. They're just, maybe it's just better. Maybe not, but also maybe. But if not, then at least you know that you feel good in your decisions within yourself. And if not, then you at least get to take time to really absorb what other people are thinking and saying and say, well, maybe they are right. And maybe this will make my life better. Right? So now I want to talk just a little bit about Saturn and Pluto making this transition, because it really starts in October, because this is when they're starting to go direct. I know I'm going to be talking about March between now and March. Every single month I'll bring it up over and over and over again. But we have to understand that this is the marker right now. Saturn and Pluto, they're officially moving into, specifically Pluto moving into his new realm of Aquarius. Now, yes, he will dip back into Capricorn and then move back into Aquarius in 2024, but this is kind of his last hurrah right here. He is officially in a completely different space, in a completely different way of life, and he's sort of earmarking the end of an era and the beginning of a new one this month, and saying your life is never going to be the same. Your life is never going to be the same. And when Saturn comes into Pisces, now this is 7th house activation for you. So Saturn coming across all of your Virgo placements, you know, you are going to come up against your old established structures. But with kind of, let's say you have a sun in Virgo, okay? So when Saturn comes into Virgo, then the sun is going to be illuminating Saturn, because that's what an opposition does. There's an illumination. And that illumination can be both challenging, but also one of the best things that ever happened to you as well. You have to confront a lot of stuff, but you also get to make appropriate changes to accommodate that as well. And you may have certain things highlighted to you in terms of why you are the way you are, and the question will arise is, do you want to stay that way or not? And if the answer is no, I'm not saying that will be the case for everything, but if the answer is no, you get an opportunity to redevelop and lay new foundations for yourself. All right, and Neptune ruled Pisces, or Jupiter ruled Pisces, either way, can be highly illusionary, and it can really wipe clean any kind of falsities or fantasies that you have that are not rooted in any kind of truth, but for the sake of operating from a more real and authentic place. When that's coupled with a Pluto transit through Aquarius, there are significant levels of reform within our lives. And so, I don't know, I feel that Virgo is going through a more serious change in their life right now. It's like you know that it was all fun and games for a while. And yes, I know life wasn't perfect. I'm not saying you were laughing the whole time, but I feel like things didn't, right? Because the fifth house was a house of play. It was a house of sex and dating and having fun. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying every single day was like that, but maybe things weren't taken as seriously, but you got to enjoy some really good experiences too. And they changed you. They certainly transformed you. But now you get to kind of go to work. And I think this is what Virgo is truly built for. Virgo now is being asked to put the pedal to the metal and to bring as much as they can in terms of their sense of self-value, which is absolutely activated now during Libra season, a little preemptively for when Pluto moves into Aquarius. But to bring all that sense of self-value and all that wisdom and all that understanding, and to be of real and true and good service in the world, to really activate that actual healer within you so that you can play your role and do your part as the healer, sort of bringing in this new earth or whatever. Okay. So this transition is happening now. So it is a little bit of a big deal, okay? And also we have Jupiter retrograding back into Pisces as well. And then next year, Jupiter is just going to be moving very, very fast through Aries before it makes its way into Taurus. And the change factor, the beginning of 2023 was nothing like what you experienced this year. It's a whole new level of speed of transformation for Virgo. Jupiter just giving us a little bit of a breath before this big push, which is happening at the beginning of 2023. And that's what I think that the next several months are going to be. It's like holding your breath before just like this big exhale, right? It's like, let it all out, let it all go. We just have to go for it next year. There's going to be a lot of movement for us at that time. Okay? A little ahead of myself. I'm sorry. That was more than just October, but anyone who knows me knows that I always read in like these big macro cycles. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much, Virgo. You know I love and adore you. I hope you have an amazing October. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this portion or not. I'll certainly incorporate it if enough people like it. Okay? All right. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Take care.